before we get started, be sure that if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. You guys can follow me on Facebook and Twitter at RobertStorms84. And with that said, let's get into this movie. I wanted to go into this film liking this movie, even despite all the bad things I heard. I still had high hopes. I wouldn't say high hopes. I still hoped here that I would enjoy this movie. I lowered my expectations, going, it can't be worse than the first one, and it was worse than the first one. It really was. Not so much where it just it wasn't worse where they just ruined the origin like the first one did, with the foot soldiers being, actual soldiers and all that stuff, and the way they learn karate and martial arts, and ninjutsu from a book. They didn't, it wasn't bad that way. It's just the story didn't make no damn sense. It really didn't. A few things, continuity problems that pissed me off that I'm going to explain to you. But the one thing that really pissed me off in this movie is Krang. Okay? This was the one thing I was looking forward to more than anything. You guys seen the TV spot. You seen what Krang looked like in that trailer, right? We seen the trailers. We seen the Super Bowl TV spots. We seen all this stuff. And they show Krang looking like this. And he doesn't look anything like that in the movie. Nothing like that in the movie. He looks like this. He looks like a fat piece of crap. He looks like John Goodman's Transformer in the last Transformers movie. It looked nothing like Krang. And Krang spent more time outside the body than he did in the body. And he talked like, the way he was voice acted was just god awful. So when I first seen Krang's body, I just dropped down. My emotions, I went from oh, and then I'm well, he's not on Earth yet. Maybe he's gonna get his battle body. Maybe he's gonna have a robotic body that he's going to battle the turtles in that we saw in the trailer. And then come the end of the movie, he's fighting with this body that wasn't in the trailer. The body that we saw in all these promotional ads and all these trailers, the body that I wanted to see, he wasn't even in that body. I don't understand why. Did it look too good? Well, did it look too good? And you didn't want it in this shitty-ass movie? What, you guys sit around and go, man, this movie is shit. Let's not put this in there because we might actually give people what they want. So that was a huge letdown for me. Then we get over to some of the continuity problems with this movie. I enjoy Brian T. as Shredder and the new Karai. The problem is, he's playing the same character as the Shredder in the first one. After what happened in the first one, he gets arrested and he's getting transported to prison. So right away, I'm not 5 years old. I think in my head, how did Shredder become 2 feet shorter and have facial hair? What, how did he grow his hair? What happened to all the burn marks? This Shredder looks nothing like that Shredder. That Karai looks nothing like that Karai. And not only that, how did the foot go from armed terrorists to actual ninjas? What the hell happened in the past year? And I'm just sitting there going, this is huge continuity problem. I know they want to pretend like this should never happen in the first movie. I don't blame you. I want to pretend like that shit didn't happen. But the problem is, it did happen, and you have to address that. And instead of addressing it in an intelligent way in the story, they just act like it never happened. It's just oh, yeah, it happened. That's the Shredder, though. He's 2 feet shorter. And he's not bald and burnt. Okay, I'm going to address that more later on. I just want to get to the rest of this stuff. Look, even though I was extremely let down by Krang, I did enjoy the last 15 minutes of this movie. The battle, when the Technodrome is being assembled and the Turtles are battling Krang on the assembling Technodrome in the air, I enjoyed that battle. But the problem is, that was really all it is. It was Ninja Turtles is supposed to be about ninjutsu, and it was more just action, just explosions, car chase, grenades and missiles and all this stuff. And there was no ninja fighting. At least in the first one, we had that kick-ass fight between Splinter and Shredder. Nothing like that happens in this movie. And then the Turtles tried to take out Shredder at the end, and they were fighting him. Nothing kind of with Krang, but it wasn't really like ninjutsu. It was just hey, I'm going to slam you, I'm going to throw you, I'm going to slam you. It was like that. And that's a problem because the Turtles are so big. You can't have the Turtles do normal ninjutsu because if they punch a foot soldier, they're going to knock their damn heads off. And that's a big problem. And I thought that the story had a good way out of that, where they had this mutagen, where they could have easily just put mutagen on the Turtles and it would have changed their appearance. They could have shrunken them and it would have stayed correct in the continuity of the film, where the Turtles changed to fit so they can make it work better in the next movie. They did it with the previous TV show that's going on right now. When the voice actor left for Leonardo and Seth Green took over, they did this mutagen thing that affected his vocal cord to explain why the voice is different. You could do that in this movie. That way, in the next film, we can have a one-on-one fight with Shredder. Shredder was worthless in this movie. Shredder didn't fight. He didn't do anything. All he did was get Bebop and Rocksteady, let him, change them, and then that was it. And Bebop and Rocksteady was it was so damn stupid. Bebop and Rocksteady were dumb in the cartoon. They weren't this damn dumb. It was, fart jokes, and it was just, look, if you're 5 years old, I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy this movie. There's a lot of little kids there. I'm pretty sure they enjoyed the movie. I'm not trying to piss in anybody's cornflakes who actually liked this movie. I'm just telling you, look, I'm a Turtle fan. I've been, the first movie I ever seen in theaters was the first TMNT movie that came out in, 1990. It was the first movie I ever remember going to see in theaters. I remember my mom walking me to the theater. I remember everything about that day. And that movie is so good. Even today, you can put that movie on, and that movie still holds up, and it's still a great, great film. And they care about storytelling. This movie doesn't care about storytelling, right? Dimension X opens up. They never call it Dimension X, but this portal opens up from another dimension, and the Technodrome coming down, and the Turtles understand, are like, what is that? And Donnie gets on his computer, he's like, it's the Technodrome. It's commanded by Commander Krang. How did you look that up on the internet? How does the internet know who the fuck Krang is and what the fuck the Technodrome is? It's little things like that doesn't make no sense. They just do stuff out of convenience because the 5-year-old ain't gonna sit there and go, how did he know that, mommy? I was like, because most kids today are stupid. I remember back when I seen TMNT 1 and Secret of the Ooze, right? And all the kids were like, Shredder died in part 2. I remember having intelligent conversations in 2nd grade about how Shredder didn't die in part 2, that he was Super Shredder and he couldn't really die. And they went back into time in part 3. That's why Shredder wasn't in there. And then, many decades later, they confirmed my theory with the TMNT CGI movie where Karai says he's coming, which the TMNT CGI movie, by the way, is the 4th movie in the original series. So, with that nerdism gone, I'm just telling you guys, went in, God, I was hoping for a better movie, and I honestly thought the first one was better. I thought the first one was better just on the simple fact that we got a kick-ass fight with Shredder, with Splinter, and the fight at the end with Shredder and the Turtles were much better than the fight with Krang. But I did enjoy the Krang thing. It's just a huge letdown when you see what they wanted to do in the trailers, and then when they give you on the screen, it's just like a big F you. So, this is my theory, right? This is my pitch. If I was making this movie, I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. If I was making this movie, and I knew I was bringing in new actors to play Shredder and Stockman, what I first would do was not fucking, try to play the audience like they're stupid and say, that's the same Shredder from the first one. No. I would retcon it, and retcon it smartly. That's the problem when you get people who care and people who don't care. The studio don't care. It's like they're just going to throw this shit out there. Michael Bay don't care. He doesn't care about anything. So what I would do is I would say that Brian T. and Karai in this movie is the real Shredder from Japan. And the Shredder in the first movie was a poser. That's why his Foot Clan were fucking terrorists and not ninjas. And after he fell, this Shredder came over to New York to try to make it so his name wasn't ruined. It's like he ruined my honor by proclaiming himself as Shredder. He wasn't the real Shredder. I'm the real Shredder. And from there on, he discovers Dimension X. He tried to help Krang come out of the portal so they could take over the world. Simple shit. Easy stuff. 5 seconds, I just explained that. Instead, what they did was, no, he's arrested. We're transferring him. We got Casey Jones. I'll get to him. Casey Jones escorted him. And, yeah, it's the same guy, 2 feet shorter. But he's got hair and everything, and his face is fine, whatever. So Casey Jones, another guy. I don't think Stephen Amell was as bad as everybody makes him sound to be, but he's not Casey Jones. Okay, you look at Casey Jones' 1990 version. You look at Casey Jones in the cartoon. Casey Jones is fucking awesome. This Casey Jones is Arrow. Me and my wife we're waiting for him to call Diggle up and Felicity and just get the Arrow team out here to take out this shit because that would have been more entertaining than this shit. It really would be. It just. At the end of the day, you have sloppy storytelling. People don't care what they're telling. They know it's for a younger audience. That's what they're appealing to. They're trying to sell toys. They don't care if certain storylines connect to anything. The Turtles are way too big. They're like giant Hulklings. All they're doing is just punching and knocking stuff out. They're not doing ninjutsu. So at the end of the day, I swear I didn't see any ninjutsu going on in this movie. Except for the Foot Clan. So, anyway, I'm going to let that go. I'm done. Me and Adam's gonna talk about the movie some more next week in another video. But I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm just gonna go and do something else. I'm gonna read some comments that I got today. I'm over this shit. I'm tired of being let down. What they did with Krang, that's just a big fuck you to everybody. So if you guys like the movie, I'm happy for you. Okay, I didn't like the movie, in my opinion. So be sure to leave your comments in the comment box. What do you guys think? Contrary to belief, I do not hate everything. You know, I don't go in the movie wanting to hate it. Okay, I don't want to pay money to hate something. You know, I was looking forward to this movie all day today. And it let me down a lot. That's what I get for hoping and looking forward to something. So anyway, be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter at RobertStorms84. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. And as always, guys, I'm Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.